What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Solo Insurance Agent. This YouTube channel is for your solo agents and your agents who may have a small local team or a building, growing nationwide team. So, if you're a nationwide recruiter, nationwide builder, there are some things here for you as well, but this is for your solo small team agents. I try to give out good content and things that's on my mind, particularly for this particular niche. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, if you're new to final expense, what to expect. In the last 3 years, we've had a lot of people enter into the insurance industry primarily through the senior market, and more specifically final expense, which is another name for burial insurance, final expense insurance, whole life policies for senior citizens. There are more other facets of life insurance, but this seems to be the area that a lot of people are coming into. And there's a good chance that you have been searching on YouTube and Facebook, asking questions, what to expect, what should I do. I'm going to give you what to expect from my point of view, from me being in this field for about 5 years now, and for watching new people come in and flourish, and new people who came in and burnt out. So the first thing that you should expect if you're new to final expense is the learning curve. You're entering into a new industry. You're entering into a niche of an industry, which is the senior market, which is more in detail, more final expense. You're going to have to learn new lingo. You're going to learn things like annual premium, face amount, face value, first day coverage. You're going to learn different acronyms like MOO. MOO is short for Mutual of Omaha. AM, short for American Amicable. You're going to learn that lingo as you get further into the business. You're going to also have to learn about commissions. How do I get paid? How do I calculate the commissions? The agent guides will show you how to do it the old manual way, but there's software you can use to figure out your commissions as well. What's your commission? What's your comp grid? You're going to learn things like that. Your back office. Depending on who you get contracted with, you're going to contract with either one insurance company, or you're going to be independent and have multiple contracts. And when you have multiple contracts, that means you have multiple back offices, multiple logins. So you're going to have a lot of logins. You can have a lot of different back offices. You got to learn how to navigate. I think I posted in one of my videos how I typically recommend a new agent get no more than 3 carriers starting out, because it will keep the confusion down. If you're trying to get 6 to 7 insurance companies at one time, you're brand new to the industry, you're still trying to figure out A from Z, you're gonna get what they call it, paralysis analysis. Start with 3 to 4, learn the back office, learn how everything moves. So you're gonna go through a learning curve. Don't be frustrated too much. Everybody's going to be frustrated, but the more you hang with it, the more you ask questions, you're going to get to this learning curve pretty quickly. Second thing that you need to expect when it comes to selling final expense is the client base. Okay, chances are you are a young adult, or you may be nearing middle age. The client base for final expense is going to be people primarily late 50s up to age 82, 83, 84, 85. So let's just say 60 through 85. That's the client base you're going to be dealing with. And this client base has already seen life. They've lived. They've seen life. They've seen death. They've seen friends grow old and die. They have a lot of life experience. So when you talk to them, you got to be straight up with them. Don't try to be slick, smart. They can smell BS from a mile away. It's best to be straight up with this client base. Number 2, with this client base, they're going to either be retired or they may still be working, but more than likely they're going to be retired. So you're going to do a lot of daytime appointments with this client base. So final expense to me personally, is conducive to a full-time type of thing. because a lot of your clients after 5 or 6 o'clock, you could get them on the phone, but they may not want you at the house at 5, 6 o'clock at night, depending on what the situation is. A lot of these clients is mainly daytime talking to them. So if you are young and you want to do this as a profession, you have to be okay working during the daytime. If you can't work during the daytime because you're working a full-time job, the weekends you got to get it in. But this client base does not work for the most part, so they're usually at home all the time. Now I do have some clients who are a little bit older, but they still work. So some of them still work and they get off at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Typically, I may schedule with them on the weekend, or they may have off day during the week and I catch them. So the second thing to expect is a client base. The third thing that you should expect if you knew the final expense is a good upline in the organization. If you are brand new to life insurance, the organizations you come in with is going to be very important. Sometimes people get lucky in the first organization they sign up with, treat them right. Sometimes you have to bounce around until you find the right fit. It just happens. But the things you want to look for is an upline who actually knows the business. It's weird to see brand new agents who just got their license, 2 months ago, and now they're out there recruiting agents. Haven't written a policy, don't really know the ins and outs of the company that they work with, but they want to build a team. That's just an aside for me. But you want to give us somebody who's proven, someone who they've been in the business, they've actually sold policies. I mean, look, there's some guys who don't actively sell because they've built a book of business, they built an organization where their time is more valuable training and maintaining their agent force. So I get it. But your upline should be able to tell you how to do the business. You should have an organization that has product training, sales training, cheat sheets, guides. Particularly if you're an independent agent and you have multiple carriers, you want to have be with a company that can say, hey, here are the carriers that we use. These are their strong points. These are the carriers that you want to use for this situation. You want someone to walk you through rather than just tell you to get a contract, go write a policy. They're going to tell you who to write with and when to write with them. You want someone that has private groups. A lot of these organizations now have, I think everybody has a Facebook group now. Facebook groups to me are good, but they tend to be public. And that's just me. If it's a Facebook group, you really want to have it where you're able to just speak freely. So some groups have 2 Facebook groups. They got a Facebook group that's just for the general public. It could be agents, non-agents. It could be agents that's not in your organization. And then they have a private group where it's only contracted agents in the same hierarchy who are in this group, where you guys can hold very detailed, in-depth conversations about best practices, things that maybe only your organization has access to. So it's good to see if they have a private group along with a public group. You want to have an organization where there is a private, either group me, a private Facebook group, a private Zoom room, something private that's only contracted agents, you guys on the same team, so you can share information. So that's not a requirement, but that's just something that I look for, because maybe you guys are working on something that you don't want other organizations to know about. Maybe you guys have a market that you use that you don't want to get out. I like to share information. I have a YouTube channel. I like to share information, but I believe in having a competitive advantage. And if someone has a competitive advantage over me, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, if the shoe's on the other foot, yeah, I would take it. So if your organization has a competitive advantage, be it with a contract, be it with a certain market, be it with a certain product, you don't want that being put out to everybody. You just don't. You want to have what's called the economic moat. And I'm going to do it. That's a whole other video, but there's something to sharing information, and also there's something to having proprietary information, content, strategies that is only available to people who are contracted or in your organization. So off my soapbox with that one, but So far, if you're new to final expense, I said you're going to have a learning curve. That's what you should expect: a learning curve, a client base, a good upline. And finally, if you're new to final expense, what you should expect is you to have self initiative. I need to remind you, when you become a licensed agent, you are a 1099 independent contractor. You are a business unto yourself. If you try to bring an employee mindset to 100% commission life insurance sales, you are going to fail out. You are a business to yourself. Now, you have people who are assisting you. You have the insurance company, you have the underwriters, the sales department, you have your upline, your IMO, FMO, your home office, whoever you're working with. They're all there to help you, but at the end of the day, it's your name that's going to be on that 1099 at the end of the year. So you have to have some self-initiative. And what that means is you need to learn how to field underwrite. Too often, and I did this once brand new too, we submit applications when we shouldn't submit them because we were too lazy to underwrite. We were too lazy to ask the questions. We was too lazy to say, hey, you said you take this medication. What did you take it for? So you need to learn how to underwrite. You need to learn the product guide, the agent guide for the carriers that you use. I don't mean, I'm not trying to say you have to learn everything before you can go sell. You should know the rudiments, the basics, the height and weight chart, the prescriptions that they're not going to accept. Field underwriting is very essential, and it makes you look like a professional when you're in front of the client. Number two, you should be willing to call your upline if you have questions, and don't be afraid to call the carrier. Look, the carrier wants you to call them. When you are selling policies, you're keeping the carrier in business. They have underwriters who are paid to answer questions. They have a sales department who is paid to make certain that the product is being pushed, it's been sold. We have marketing materials, we have videos, webinars. They want you to be successful. So call them, use them. They got the phone number set for a reason. Another thing, you want to seek advanced training. If you sit back and you wait for your upline, you wait for your organization to spoon feed you new information, you're going to be left behind. You have to be willing to go out and seek information on your own. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're jumping from IMO to IMO or group to group. What it means is if you are doing final expense, maybe you want to get more information about Social Security. Maybe you want to learn more about Pension Max. There are other facets to senior market than final expense. Maybe you want to learn about annuities, because a lot of times, a lot of these final expense clients, if you ask them the right questions, usually they are sometimes good annuity clients, or they could be good Medicare clients, which is a whole nother topic. What I'm trying to get at is, don't be a one-trick pony. Offer some other things, ask questions, but you have to learn how to get that new training, advanced training, because a lot of times, a lot of you guys who are listening to this, you may start out at final expense, but you may move on to more advanced markets. You may move on to participant whole life. You may start selling infinite banking concepts. You may start selling IULs. You may start doing working with business owners. But it starts because you have some initiative to learn advanced marketing. You want to learn your product in a way where you can present it to the client, and then it opens the doors for the things. Basically, guys, don't be a lazy agent. Okay. Don't wait around for the upline and say, hey guys, we're going to do a training on this. Hey guys, this is coming up. Go find some stuff on your own, because again, you are a business unto yourself. If you fail or succeed, yes, part of that is your upline, but the other part is you. You have to get up in the morning time. You have to make those phone calls. You have to do those follow-up phone calls. You have to go fill out the application. You have to do the e-application. You have to learn the product in order to properly convey it to the client. So self-initiative, in my estimation, is one of the biggest things I personally look for in an agent. Because if I got to spoon feed you for the basics, I'm about to spoon feed you for everything. And I'm just not going to drag anybody across the finish line. Now, I know I'm getting a little personal here, but I just see that the agents who are hungry and who seek out information, and apply it, they will be okay. The agents who are afraid, they don't want to make a phone call, they don't want to call the upline, don't want to call the insurance company. They just waiting on someone to tell them what to do. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm trying to keep these audios and videos on the 30 minutes. So that is what I've seen for people who are new to final expense and what to expect. Expect a learning curve. Expect a different client base, particularly if you used to do mortgage protection, if you used to do PNC work. The senior market is very different from the um, IUL market. They're very different from the disability market. Every market has its characteristics, and you can't change that characteristic. You just have to make it work for you. So, also, you're gonna have a good upline, good organization to work with, and finally, you want to have good self initiative. So that's all I have for this one. Be sure to like the video, give me some likes, and subscribe to the channel. And leave me your comments and tell me what you think. Tell me where I was right. Tell me where I'm wrong. Just want to know what your thoughts are. So with that, this is Thomas Dixon, Solo Insurance